Welcome to SAB TV News. I am Larry Larrock, your presenter. In our top stories, first case of chikungunya virus in Dominica. Another St. Lucian police officer denied travel to US. Syria conflict, government offers prisoner exchange. And in sports, Baffert ambassadors secure win. Details of these will follow. Welcome back. On Thursday, January 16, 2014, Tropical Beat, the Caribbean Students Association at Miami-Dade College North Campus, hosted a symposium on the topic, Addressing Nation Building in the Caribbean, featuring international and Caribbean leaders. Present at the function was Dominica's very own Mr. Lennox Linton, Dr. Thompson Fountain, Mr. Joshua Francis, and Mr. Hector John, members of the Opposition United Workers' Party. This forum provided an opportunity for meaningful dialogue on issues affecting the Caribbean region, increasing the knowledge of the participants of diverse cultures. Global and historical perspective were also topics of discussion, as well as learning strategies for fulfilling personal, civic, and social responsibilities. For a decade, Tropical Beat, which was founded by Dr. Emilia K. Barron, a native of the Nature Island of the Caribbean, has united, fostered, and developed the next generation of Caribbean leaders. The organization is committed to bringing together people of Caribbean background or upbringing with each other to provide insight into Caribbean culture for persons curious to learn about life in the Caribbean. In more news, the management of Shodong Mascam Calypso 10 has announced they will be returning to the Harlem Plaza for this year's Calypso season, as they began their first show on Friday, January 17, 2014. Manager of Shodong Mascam, Mr. Darrell Bob, noted the organization has gone through a lot of adversity, making them more mature as they continue to provide a platform for Calypsonians who have been less fortunate over the past few years. One of the organizers of Shodong Mascam, Mrs. Annie Aaron, says although sponsorship was difficult this year, they still try their best to put the show forward.
We have a very understanding teamwork going on with the artists and management. Okay? Whenever we make money, the artist benefits. When we don't, we let them know that we don't. 2013 was a very difficult time for Mascam, where we went into a deficit, where we couldn't pay our bills. But we still continue to write. We still have a good product that we can sell. It's within us. So we continue to produce. So who we are depending on right now is the general public right now to support us in this brave venture that we are taking, to attend our shows, and to pay to come in, so that when we see massive crowd in the show, we know that, well, yes, it's a good show. You're patronizing. We won't be able to give as many complimentary tickets as before. The media tickets will be limited. But if you have friends, grab along a friend and ask them to pay, because our sponsorship is very limited. Right now, the most I can say is like we're going for a recession right now, and the business places, everybody is like things tight.
She noted the gates will be open weekly from 8:30 p.m., but action begins at 9 p.m. at the Harlem Plaza. Mr. Bob also stated Shodong Mascam can still be regarded as the one with the highest quality of calypsos. He said they are currently working on an album for the camp, which will be available for public purchase in 2 weeks or less.
Even before we had this situation where the guys who left Mascam this year, Pat has always been saying to me that he would prefer to work with a smaller team, and that's in all honesty, he's always been advocating, Bob, everybody wants a chance, but it's much easier for me to work with a smaller team. And this year it just happens so automatic. So this year, we may have a list of, a shorter list of Calypsonians, but because of the fact that over the years these Calypsonians have developed a strong repertoire. Now each Calypsonian, or most of them, can have a concert on their own. So the format of our show is going to be such that on every night we're going to try to feature one Calypsonian who can put on a mass camp show. And that's basically the format. Now I say the list is going to be shorter. That's what I would like it to be. But by the second show, there are so many people who come and ask to come on, it goes back to the number 21. But every year we try to see if it can stay between 14 and 17.
Some of the Calypsonians include, but are not limited to, Leona Peters, The Wave, Triumph, Bull, King Dice, Soulpus, Daddy Miller, Psy, Mass Eruption, Vigilante, Lady B, Buplay, and Trinity. In other stories, Dominica has recorded its first local case of chikungunya virus in the community of Gudo, according to officials from the Ministry of Health.
We can confirm now that we have the first locally occurring case of chikungunya in Dominica. It's a person, female individual, who had a travel history of traveling to St. Martin, and we confirmed, although the person presented with signs and symptoms of the disease in mid-December, that having received the confirmation from CAFA today, last night to be exact, that we have the presence of chikungunya in Dominica.
Dr. Johnson says the Ministry of Health had been on high alert for incidences of the virus here in Dominica since it was first contacted by the Trinidad-based Caribbean Public Health Agency, CAPA.
From December 13th, 2013, that is last year, a little over a month ago, the Ministry of Health was informed by the Caribbean Public Health Agency based in Trinidad of a disease known as chikungunya that is present in the French part of St. Martin.
Chikungunya is a viral disease carried mainly by the Aedes aegypti mosquito and causes a dengue-like sickness. Symptoms of the disease include a sudden high fever, severe pain in the wrist, ankles or knuckles, muscle pain, headache, nausea, and rash. Joint pain and stiffness are more common with chikungunya than dengue.
So that there is no need for any alarm at this time. The person who presented with chikungunya disease has recovered and is at home doing well. But very importantly for us, we want to establish whether there in fact there are other cases of chikungunya in Dominica, either through two means, through more imported cases, or whether the case that was confirmed as an imported case has been transmitting the disease in Dominica.
To mitigate the spread of the disease, the Ministry of Health has adopted a number of proactive measures.
Part of our response would involve clinical management of persons who present with chikungunya signs and symptoms of chikungunya disease. The vector control, as I indicated, it is a disease spread by the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, and therefore it's significant that we would boost up our vector control. Laboratory support forms part of our response. And very, very importantly, surveillance.
Chief Environmental Health Officer Anthony Scotland informed that measures have already been put in place, beginning with the observation of houses for mosquito breeding in the site community. While the Ministry of Health will be collecting data from individual cases as soon as they occur, National Epidemiologist Dr. Paul Ricketts has also advised persons to take the necessary precautions against acquiring this virus. In more news, certain ministers of the Dominica Labour Party have made public their dissatisfaction about comments made by the United Workers' Party candidate for for the Monjon Riviera constituency, Dr. Thompson Fountain, about Dominica. Minister for Education and Human Resource Development and Member of Parliament for the Lapland constituency, Honorable Peter Seja, said Dr. Fountain has painted Dominica as lawless and Dominicans as hostile to the Haitian and Chinese communities here. It was reported that during the UWP's 21 in 25 Coast to Coast tour of Dominica, Dr. Fountain said, and I quote, "We went to a village and young men were asking us for guns. The only thing we want from you guys is guns. We are about to kill some people now. We are about to shoot the Haitians, shoot the Chinese." That's the kind of reaction we get from young people. Men are selling drugs. Drugs come into Dominica, the government turns away. Look the other way, and young men load these small boats and try to sell it in other islands. End quote. Mr. Seja stated that as a resident of the southeast coast of Dominica, Dr. Fountain's comments are harmful to the image of the nature island as a peaceful and welcoming tourist destination. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit also condemned the statement by Dr. Fountain, saying it was an attack against young people in Dominica.
And he said that he and the Workers' Party went to a village in Dominica, and the young people are asking them for guns to kill Chinese and Haitians. Now, I can tell you, my friends, that I have been a member of Parliament for 14 years this year. And I've been the leader of the Labour Party for 10 years this year. And I have been around Dominica more than most in this country. And I've been to more homes in Dominica than most in this country. And I've been to every single village and cranny in Dominica, every one of them. And never have our young people asked me for guns to kill anybody.
Mr. Skerrit said, "Someone will not ask for marijuana if they know you do not smoke marijuana. Neither for matches if they know you are not a smoker, but they will ask for guns because of what you are preaching in Dominica." However, persons who were present when Dr. Fountain made the statements are saying the government ministers and supporters of the Dominica Labour Party took out of context the point Dr. Fountain was making in an effort to mislead Dominicans.
He was talking about the violence that the men and the frustrated men of Dominica may resort to because they are joblessness, they are frustrated by the system, they are not working, and these young men have reached a point where they will take any action for them to get some sort of relief because they feel that nobody is looking out for them. And like you heard Dr. Fountain say, one of the things that these young men said that they would take the guns to the Haitians, they would take it to the Chinese, but they would take it to the politicians as well. And it is a good thing that they could say that to Dr. Thompson Fountain because they trusted him enough to have said that. Now, I heard the Prime Minister say that, he will not get a statement such as this coming from anybody's mouth. Let me tell Mr. Prime Minister, it's a good thing when you can go and mingle with every person from every dimension, from every area of this country. You need to be affiliated with the ghetto men, with the rich men, with the women, whoever they are. You need to know what their concerns are so you can address them. How do you address concerns that you know nothing about?
Ms. Williams added the discussion should move from what Dr. Fountain said to how we can resolve the issue of violence in Dominica. On Thursday, January 16, 2014, Dominica welcomed ETA, Entertainment Travel Alternatives Inc.'s motorcycle cruises, who toured the island as part of their 13th anniversary motorcycle tour. The group of 26 bikers who came on board the Celebrity Equinox enjoyed riding through Dominica's pristine interior prior to returning to the cruise ship berth. Head of Product Development at Discover Dominica Authority, Ms. Kathleen Coffey said, She hoped the bikers had a wonderful tour of Dominica and invited them to return, as they are always welcome there.
We know this is the first group, and the first time that you're coming on this return. We expect each year to be many of these groups here on island. There was one last year, and we're very pleased for that group as well, and here you are this time. So it's the second time, and we're looking for numerous times that you can come. You keep me posted. Alright, so welcome to Dominica, enjoy what is there for the day, and I'm sure that you had a wonderful day.
Chief Executive Officer of the Dominica ANC Port Authority DASPA, Mr. Benoit Badwil, also welcomed the bikers, adding it is people like them that makes us realize what we truly have, the nature island.
Really and truly, we want to ensure that more and more persons discover this paradise, because it is, in fact, what we cherish. Nature is all about what we do, and we try to ensure that this island remains as natural and fresh as it can be. And we want you to tell your folks back home that you've been to an island that is pristine, that is, adorable. And we want them to be able to come to Dominica whenever they have a chance for vacation. I want to say thank you for making the trip, and to ensure that you can continue to enjoy yourself on your cruise.
This marked their second visit to the nature island, after the group first visited the island on March 21, 2013. In 2002, ETA began selling cruises that afforded bikers the opportunity to explore and experience destinations in the Bahamas and the Caribbean with their motorcycles. Now in its 13th year, the group sells over 20 motorcycle cruises per year.
We love Roselle. We love Roselle. Let's go.
In more news, the Carnival Princess Show 2014, organized by the Rotary Club of Dominica, was officially launched on the night of Thursday, 16th January at the Calypso House in Bath Estate.
For over 20 years, the Rotary Club of Roseau has been instrumental in creating an avenue for young girls, which allows them to showcase their talents and skill through arts, drama, and dance through the annual Princess Show. Every year, we observe our girls develop and excel from the first day of practice to the actual day of the show.
Ms. Williams believes that apart from showcasing their talents, the show also teaches the girls to take pride in what they do.
We have seen contestants of the Carnival Princess Show move on to participate in other pageants, which include the National Queen Show, and like proud parents, the Rotary Club has always been satisfied to see the girls mature into strong, positive, and ambitious women. 7 young ladies from primary schools across the island will compete in the show, but only one will be crowned when the show takes place on Sunday, February 16th, 2014. The contestants include Alyssa Lenta representing the Convent Preparatory School, China Toulouse representing the Castle Bruce Primary, and Kitana Joseph for the St. Martin Primary School. Other contestants are Nikisha Luke representing the Campbell Primary School, Tikia Allen representing the Pioneer Preparatory School, Tia Toussaint for the Sansove Primary School, and Trisha Kurol for the Benz Primary School. Miss Cherise Linton of the Pioneer Preparatory School was last year's winner. In other stories, Dominicans should be on the alert for a suspect involved in a double murder in the United States. According to a press release from the United States Embassy, Andre Neverson, 49, is believed to have fled the United States and may be residing in Barbados or other Caribbean islands. Law enforcement agencies are seeking the public's assistance in locating the fugitive,
who allegedly killed his sister and an ex-girlfriend in 2002. Neverson, originally from Trinidad and Tobago, allegedly murdered his sister by shooting her in the head and stomach on July 8, 2002. The next day, he allegedly abducted a former girlfriend. She was found 2 days later, dead with a mortal head wound. Neverson has been classified as one of the U.S. Marshal Service's 15 most wanted fugitives. He is also wanted by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Bureau of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Division of Parole for New York State and the NYPD. Neverson is a black male about 6 foot 2 inches and 240 pounds, with brown eyes, black hair, and a muscular build, according to latest reports. He has a violent criminal history with a pronounced pattern of violence towards women. Neverson speaks several languages and is known to always carry a firearm. He usually keeps his head shaved, but has been known to wear wigs to disguise himself. Investigators believe Neverson is computer savvy. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights. Give us your opinion on what you think of the 2014 Calypso songs thus far.
Well, the usual, my brother. You have those that take, for instance, those like Walks Up, which are really for the carnival season, which have a lot of satire in it, you know, with his tomato bursting poof. But the crowd goes for that one. Then you have the usual, where everyone sings on the government of the day. And the majority of the songs are all on the topics, the social commentary of the season. It's election season, everybody's in high gear, and everybody's having fun, everybody's enjoying the music. I like the music, and they're popular. That's basically what I can say. I have nothing bad to say about the music. What I observe is that there's a new camp in town, the Renegades. Obviously, some Calypsonians are not happy with their management, and they're moving shop, and that happens in the industry. You're not too happy with your management, you move shop. So they're moving with Peter Prosper's Renegades. So let's see what happens. That's the interesting one I'm going to be looking at. Now, how they're going to compete against Mass Camp, against Stardom Tent. As you know, Stardom Tent has a heavy-duty foundation, and they're the #1 tent, which everyone goes to on the Wednesday night.
Well, honestly, tell you, bro, the Calypso not too bad, but I don't really feel it like maybe if I might hear the second song. The second song might be stronger than the first set of songs. But the first set of songs, you know, it just give people a little taste to know that the carnival is wrong and thing. But maybe the second songs will be more competent and more message and more vibes in it, you know? But my vibes is Calypso, compa, and I love my Calypso. But you see, Calypso, I like to listen to it because it talk about the vibes happening in the country, the development, the employment, you know? So yes, still, maybe the second songs, maybe I might cheer it up a little more than how people cheer it up now. Right now, I just know that they're singing, and there are people who make people know that Calypso around the corner, and Carnival around, and you don't know, people bring the things out, but to me, the second songs will be a little more stronger.
All right, as a Carnival stakeholder from the Mariga community, I am very impressed so far with the season as it has been rolled out. The different tents, we know that we have 3 Calypso tents now in Dominica functioning, Renegades, Stardom, and the Mass Camp, 2 of which have been there for quite some time now. But I believe that some of the songs released so far, some are controversial, some are comical, and some are generally, you know, what is accepted as, you know, the top of the line calypsos. I mean, when you listen to Alicia, for example, her song is out there. I mean, it is globally connected to Dominica, and I believe it's a song with a lot of appeal. I also believe as well that the song for King Hunter coming out there with another great piece, songs with messages. And of course, we can never forget contenders like Workshop who are looking towards the road match and that kind of thing. So we see it coming. Even the play on words by Naryn Murphy, aka the trendsetter with part payment. You know, we have seen a very interesting season so far. And I think with Mascamp opening formally tonight, we will hear more of the favorites out of that camp, out of that tent. You know, Mascamp has been very good over the years in terms of its product and what it puts out there. So I know and I'm looking forward to a very good product from Mascamp this year. And likewise, all of the other tents. I mean, we have seen some newcomers on the scene and they are very strong. They have some work to do. With everything, there is always work to be done. But so far the season has been, rather well. I think the whole elimination process, the tents beginning and persons getting into the vibe and the groove is a good one. The only disappointments for Calypso that we have seen just yet is the turnout at the tents. I mean, the turnouts have not been the best, for first tent or first night of 10. Usually we have record crowds, but we know with the economics and everything that's in play right now that some, little difficulties will come up along the way. So I'm very hopeful that the season will continue to progress well. And by next week, when we move into the second week of Calypsos on the island, patrons will, begin coming out to the tents and enjoying themselves at the free tents. Let's hope that it shows Dominica's Calypso product to the world. We know that a lot of effort has been put into it by the different players, the writers, the singers, the organizers of tents,